Hey guys, welcome back to Hustlin' Horsepower. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna talk about a couple of things, the dig or die prep, a couple changes that I've made, and then the future plans in this video. So guys, it's another raw video. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that I haven't been keeping up with the YouTube channel as far as the videos go as nearly as much as I would like to. I don't have anyone else editing the videos for me, and self-filming is quite the challenge, especially when I have the workload that I have on me. So it makes it a little bit difficult to get these videos out here, and they're definitely not as nice of videos as someone like Spooled Media or Street Racing Channel or stuff like that. They do a very good job of editing their videos, but when it's in the shop, I'm essentially a one-man band, so I'm here essentially to race and be prepared to race. And unfortunately, the videos have to come second to having a car ready to race. But here it goes, guys. I appreciate you all that follow along. Keep on hustling. Like and subscribe to the channel. We're slowly growing. We're slowly getting there. I slacked on the social media stuff for quite a while, but hey, we're slowly getting there, and I appreciate everyone that follows along. It's probably going to be 3 to 4 weeks in the bus starting next Wednesday, so follow along. It's going to be pretty cool. So guys, I'm going to go over and do a little bit of a recap here. I'm sorry I didn't get a video out last week. It was pretty damn busy. I was making a whole lot of changes to the car, and I just didn't have time to sit down and do a video. But I'm going to go over a couple of things I did to get the car ready for dig or die. We did a small short video yesterday that we posted talking about some of the changes I made, but there's a whole lot more involved than just what met the eye there. So starting from the beginning, okay, we raced Pour Your Own Puddle the weekend before up in Detroit, Michigan. I love that race. I'm a big fan of that race. It's a really good time up there. We went up there. We got there a little bit early. We hung out with Jasper Graham. Got the transmission in the car. Got the car together, so on and so forth, at his garage, at his house. And we got the thing running. I don't know, probably about 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And he only lives about 10 minutes or 15 minutes away from Onondaga Dragway, where we were racing the deal. And we dropped off the bus and the trailer there, and we came back to his house and slept for a couple hours. Well, we did all right there. The car ran good. I screwed up a deal in the tuning deal. I do all my own tuning. I do my own engines and all that crap. But I screwed up a little bit. I was trying to test some things for dig or die while racing that race, and it bit me in the butt, and we got knocked out second round. The boost controller didn't activate, and he got us by about a half a car. So we go through, and I want to make a test pass, make sure that for the next time we're down there, we can go through there and we can make a respectable pass, a pass that can be competitive. So I go in there and do the tune-up slightly differently, go up there, and we make a pretty damn good pass. Well, at the end of the pass, I heard a chirping. So turns out we took out a lifter. So a lifter started, it went bad. You could see it in the last video. Well, we run a stud mount rocker system in here. So I took off the guide plates at the push rods, the center of the push rods. The push rod goes from the rocker through the cylinder head and sits on the lifter. Well, we have these little plates there to keep that push rod in line. They don't really touch them, but it's just a guide plate. So if there's any type of little wiggling or harmonics or whatever, it keeps it lined up. Well, I took off the guide plates and I took off that lifter. This is after I cut the intake open. So I could access the lifter holes. I put a I had the intake off while I did this. I don't have a video of this, unfortunately. I did a little bit of a live video, but it wasn't on there. So I have the intake off, and I get something like a 12-inch long extension, and I get a piece of emery cloth. Get some small sandpaper. I usually have it in my toolbox here. As you can see, I'm not overly prepared for this video, but I had a small piece of sandpaper, really fine grit, something like probably I don't know, probably damn near 400 grit, that I laid on top of the lobe that got screwed up. I put that on the lobe, and I shoved the lifter back in that hole, and I rolled the motor over for quite a while. making sure that lift or that lobe was nice and flat again. It started getting chewed up. That's part of the squeaking noise. When the lifter starts to go bad, you'll hear chirp, chirp, chirp. Sounds like a little bird or something like that. Well, I also had to clean up the lifter board because the lifter was kind of stuck in there. It got a little screwed up. So I used a 7/16 3/8 socket, because a 7/16 long socket on 3/8 drive has a taper to it. So I wrapped the emery cloth around that, put it in the lifter bore, measured it to about, I don't know, just over 800 thousandths. It's a 842 lifters in here. So I put it in the lifter bore and put it on the drill and cleaned up the lifter bore. Put 5 gallons of diesel through the motor to flush all that stuff out. Cleaned it all out, started it up, or put oil in it, started it up, flushed all the oil out of it, just some junk oil. Then we filled it back up with the Hot Shot Secret oil that we're dealers for. So we got the motor back together. Then it was time to take the transmission out of the thing for dig or die. When we got back from when we got back ready to go to this deal. So I called up Pete Nichols probably about a week or so before dig or die, 2 weeks before dig or die. And I was like, hey, these are the changes I want to make to the converter. What's your opinion? What's your this and that? Let's brainstorm here and let's come up with something. So we got a new stator and a couple other little changes to the converter that we made. Now we also put the big wang on the car, but that's only a small portion of the changes that we made. Okay, I did spring rates, front and rear springs. We can run. We're dealers for Viking Performance, so we did. I changed the spring rates front and rear, shock settings, bar angles. If you look back in an earlier video, I made a pretty cool setup for the rear suspension, ladder bar style rear suspension for this car. What else? Spring rates, bar angles, of course chassis tune-up and tire pressure, and a little bit of weight bias, but there's a whole lot less weight in this car than a lot of people think. As far as ballast in this car, in my opinion, I was watching Limpy's live feed 2 nights ago or whatever it was, and I want to say his name's Chris Becker. Not exactly sure. I think he's from down south somewhere, which would make sense. That's where the race was. And he was talking about the same thing I was doing, right? We're not in the 1950s no more. There's pretty good shock technology out there. There's pretty good tire technology out there, and there's pretty good engine management systems out there. We run the Holley EFI system, and I could do some pretty cool stuff with it. Now, without giving away too many of my secrets, we got away with not running a whole lot of ballast in this car, okay? You could see it slightly in the 60 foot because we were getting out 60 footed probably by about half a tenth or so. And I think with a little bit more testing, we'll be able to do that. We showed up to dig or die. I made 2 330 hits, half track hits up here on the farm road. And then we shot down to Eric Yost's place down in Mooresville, North Carolina. On the way down, I was like, hey, I'm not feeling overly confident. Let's see if we could try to find a place to make a couple test hits. And Eric Yost by Customs by Biggin, I met him back in like 2013 doing drag week and stuff like that. Back when I had the stretchy truck, the twin turbo mid-engine S10. He sent me a message and he's like, hey, the shop's open. We've tested beer money out here. Made a ton of passes with beer money out here in front of the shop. Stop by if you want. And I was like, well, I think we're going to stop at Thunder Valley, the place where they're hosting the race, the pre-party to the race down there. And long story short, I was like, you know what? Biggin's a smart dude. Pete Harrell's has his shop right next to there. There's some smart dudes there. And it was 3 hours less driving, and we weren't going to get to the test spot, the main test spot, till 9 o'clock, and they were only running till 11 o'clock. So we headed over to Eric Yost's place. So we get to Eric Yost's place, and Eric Carnes meets us over there. He offered to make this wing back there, and I started making my own wing probably about 4 or 5 hours before he messaged me and was like, hey, I think I could have this done before dig or die if you want it. I said, yeah, sure, game on. And he pulled through for us and got the big wing there. Well, we got there about 6 o'clock. We probably made our first hit about 10 o'clock, and we made 6 hits out there in front of his shop down there in Mexico. And yeah, 6 hits, 6 330 hits, and the car was showing some pretty good promise. So we were like, okay, I think we got something. We headed over to Dig or Die. So this is where I'm going to end this video, and tomorrow I'm going to try to post a video that goes through and the actual race. So I'm sorry guys, I was a little bit behind on some of this stuff as far as the timeline goes, but hey, the last couple of days my stomach was acting up pretty bad, so I wasn't able to do much at all. But I'm trying like hell to get these videos out. As far as working on the car, I'm basically a one-man band, so it's a little bit difficult. But this weekend, I'm planning on taking the weekend off. We're supposed to be doing the ice cream cruise out in I-29 Dragway out near Omaha, Nebraska. It's actually in Pacific Junction, Iowa. I-29 Raceway or Raceway of the Midlands or something like that. We'll be racing out there for the ice cream cruise. That's going to be like 10 to 15,000 spectators out there. And we got the invite to run the small tire no prep deal. So we'll be putting this car on 29s and racing out there. And then the week after that, we'll be racing RoadKill Nights up in Pontiac, Michigan. That should be a pretty cool deal. And then I think we're headed straight to South Carolina. I think we're going to race the Nut Up or Shut Up small tire race out there. So it's going to be, there's a good chance that I'll be on the road in the bus for like 3 weeks straight, starting next week, probably Wednesday. We'll probably stop somewhere in Ohio at one of our favorite tracks in Ohio, and make a couple hits on 29s just to get this car somewhat lined out on a 29-inch tire. I still got to do, I want to redo the electrical system in this car. I finally have my parts showing up that I ordered like months ago, so it doesn't look like a 15-year-old wired this thing. There's literally wiring in this car from like when I was 15 years old. It's been with me with everything from my little twin turbo S10 Blazer I built in high school to the stretchy truck to the dirty 30, and now it's in this car. And hey, it's been working for us, but it's freaking ugly. And the video, that 1320 video is going to do on this thing, it's probably going to see a couple million views, and I don't want to represent myself that way or the companies we represent that way. So I'm going to try to get, I want to redo the electrical system starting this weekend. Then what else? Yeah, then we'll do RoadKill Nights, and there should be a pretty cool deal at RoadKill Nights. We're going there. I'm not lying. I'm going to try to go win fastest Dodge there, and I'm going to try to go win big tire on a 29 out there. Since we'll be racing on a 29 out in Pacific Junction, out in Omaha, Nebraska area, Pacific Junction, Iowa, I-29 Dragway. And then Wilkesboro, North Carolina, I think that's the 20th to the 22nd. So there's a very good chance 3 weeks in a row I'll be on the road. And then after that, I think it is possibly No Prep Mania 5.5 up at Tad and Jim's of Magnolia up in Ohio. So there's a possibility I'll be on the road for a while, and I was sure as hell hoping to win the big money, because sure would have been nice to find myself a toter home or a motor home or something with a little bit more creature comforts in the bus, especially with the stomach issues I have to deal with. It makes it a little bit difficult living out of the bus, but we're making it happen. And this car is just getting to the beginning of what its potential is. I think some people were a little bit surprised at how well the car did this past weekend at Dig or Die, but for me, it's just I don't know how you want to say it. The things are just starting to fall into place on this car. It's still fairly new. I think we got about 40 hits on this car right now, and it's getting there. So I'm pretty excited for the next few weeks, next few months, the remaining of the year. This car should really start doing something and start making a name for itself. So the homegrown hustler, it's a pretty bad daddy-o. It's a pretty bad donkey. Thank you all for watching and subscribing to Hustlin' Horsepower. Thank you to all that have brought merchandise. We'll have quite a bit of merchandise down at Dig or Die, or at Ice Cream Cruise, since there's gonna be such a quantity of people out there. I appreciate all you that support this journey. It's been a hell of a ride, and it's just beginning. So it's gonna be pretty cool. So thank you all for following along. I appreciate it. I'm gonna start working on a video here for the actual racing aspect of Dig or Die this evening. So thank you all. I appreciate it. It's been a pretty cool ride, and it sure as hell felt good to get that second chance win. Kendall's a bad dude, and he was just a little bit more lined out before we were for first round. So, hey, it is what it is. It's racing. We'll keep on coming back until it's our time. So, thank you all. We appreciate it. Keep on hustling.